David, you'll have to get out of this habit. Hanging around Roy Stevens' house. Getting to be an obsession with you, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it is. What does Durham want?
28,000 is a bit much for what it is, isn't it?
Well, it's got central heating throughout.
Yes, it says so.
It's right. Bang on, right opposite Stevens' house.
Linda Doran phoned this morning for an appointment. Said it was urgent. Something on her mind. Sure I saw Valium in a bag a couple of weeks ago.
You could have. They're all on it these days, women.
28,000.
Well, they reckon that's a good price for the district.
Well, it's hardly petty cash, is it, David?
It's the best chance we've had to get near him, though. 3 cases of corruption at least he's been involved with. Those 2 shopping complexes, right? And the new hospital. Oh, that was dodgy, eh?
My wife certainly doesn't take any drugs like that. Does yours?
No, she's terrified of them. The doctor gave her any, she'd throw them away.
David, what do you see coming out of this operation? Put in a couple of undercover people in the house across the road from him.
Well, we've tried everything else, haven't we? It's just a possibility, that's all I'm saying. We'll probably end up against a brick wall like we have done before, but it is some sort of opening, isn't it?
Last desperate throw to get something on him.
Worth a try, eh?
We know that, Roy. You didn't need to bring me here to tell
it. If you did, you wouldn't be trying to block me over doing something about this divided city, would you? I mean, look at them, look at them. I mean, they're lovely kids, aren't they? Great kids.
Oh, I know that. You don't need to tell me that, Roy.
There's one middle-class kid in a whole school of 300. Now, after all the fighting that we've done in this country for some kind of equality, we've still got that. I mean, it's still happening.
Well...
You know, I mean, we're supposed to be running the authority.
Well, which...
Shall I keep it? Hey, go on in, catch. I used to play cricket, you know. Wicket keeper.
I'll make a note of that. Good for your next election address, eh?
All over the city. I mean, it's just like this.
Yeah, it's a problem, Roy. I mean, we know that. The whole educational geography of the city's got to be changed.
Now, don't talk to me about hanging on with a majority of 3. I mean, is this how you thought it would turn out? Eh?
No.
I mean, we're no better off than the 30s, are we?
Oh.
I mean, these kids are doomed for life.
Oh, get a chair for Linda, will you, David?
I'm all right, sir.
Problems, then?
You should have 2 spare seats here, shouldn't you? Used to have.
Used to have. Oh, is it all right if David stays, Linda? I know you want to talk to me, but we want to talk to you about something that's just cropped up.
It's about the possibility of a transfer, sir. Or work with some other people. I'm not saying I've got anything at all against Willis or Bullman. We get on fine at a superficial level. And I still think it's a fantastic challenge, the job. But I know I'm not going to get anywhere working with people on that kind of level.
I'm sorry, I don't quite follow you, Linda. What specifically is the problem?
You know, Sergeant Bullman's very pleased with you. He said many times how well you're fitting into the team.
Yes, we're getting on fine. Great mates, sure.
Well, what are you...
Sergeant, do you mind if you finish?
It's just a different approach, sir. Apart from the jokes and the good mates together, I can't get through to them. That's probably my fault as much as theirs. It's just different ways of seeing the job. I think they're very good at their jobs. I'm not saying they aren't.
You know what I could say to you, Linda, don't you?
Yes, I know, sir. I agreed to join the team.
No, this really surprises me. I thought you were beginning to work together.
I really believe in this job.
So we all do.
No,
Sergeant.
I see it as really positive. I know that coppers are going through a bad time, generally. I see what we're doing. Helping to get into something a bit better. That's really what it is, sir. Bullman and Willis, you know them. They just see themselves as scavengers, just kind of sweeping up the messes of a society that's always been pretty rotten and always will be.
I see.
I'm an optimist, I suppose, sir. Aren't I?
Oh, that's what they say, Linda. I think that's fair comment of Linda's, don't you, David? That's the sort of personalities they tend to project. What they actually believe, Linda. What's underneath the projection? How long have you worked together? 4 months? Or could it be maybe that you don't know them well enough? I'm not trying to fob you off, Linda. If you genuinely feel you can't work together.
I just can't see us getting on. It's probably me just as much as them. It's probably me more than them.
Good. There's a problem we need your help on. David, ever heard of a man called Roy Stevens?
Right, there's no argument. It's just a matter of timing. At this moment in time and the party's position nationally...
Frank, you know me. It's not my style. A heavy hand, but I'm not having it. If I'm not backed on this move to reorganize completely the educational geography of this city...
Aren't you overreacting a bit, Roy? It isn't the 30s. They're well-fed, they're well-dressed, they're happy. Happy, smiling kids.
Yeah, they're happy. So are bloody cows.
I want you and Willis to work together on this, Linda. I'm sure you can see it's a positive piece of police work. You'll be thrown closer together, obviously as husband and wife. I don't need to tell you outside, we must have a reasonably convincing show, whatever differences there may be behind your front door. You have been married before, and I think Willis has had enough experience to simulate some kind of affection between you. By the end of the job, both of you should know rather more about each other than when you started. Then perhaps we can talk about the possibility of some kind of transfer. That is, of course, if you still want it.
You only do that when you're first married, Johnny.
Huh?
If it gives you any satisfaction, go ahead. But the boys are watching.
Are they?
Something's burning.
Pan. It's a frying pan, Danny.
Yeah, I see. Just had a look, see what's happening across the road. Big Roy Stevens is back. You're not putting in a state like that.
Hey, it's a Western, isn't it? Big Derek and Big Roy. Who's gonna beat who to the shootout?
Don't you ever beat the steak? Tenderise it, you know, before you cook it.
I'm not all that into cooking, actually, Big Derek.
I know you don't think it, but I'm for women. I'm telling you, equal rights with men. Men pitching in with the cooking and keeping the house straight.
You worried I'm gonna mess up your steak and chips? I'm very likely to mess up your steak and chips.
See, you kind of beat the steak, like this.
With a milk bottle.
Got a tenderizer hammer in the house?
I'll bring one with me the next time. So you kind of mug the steak?
Better grilling it anyway, instead of frying it. Ah.
What about Big George Bullman? Have you ever cooked him a steak?
He usually cooks his own. Should have seen Big Roy coming out of his Mercedes. I mean, he is. Look at that. Fancies himself. Big me. I own the whole world.
Derek, we've been over this before about Roy Stevens. Are you listening to me? What are you looking for now?
Bought some garlic?
No. Obviously it didn't kind of sink in. I like Roy Stevens. I mean, I admire him and what he stands for. Have you got that now?
Fancy him?
Well, I'd actually have to talk to him before I work that one out.
That what you got to do, is it? Talk before you fancy?
Well, just at the moment, I don't fancy anybody. I've given up fancying people, especially men.
Nothing to me, either way. Stevens, you know. Sharp bloke, no doubt about it. He's had the old corruption squad onto him one time or another. Way he's covered himself, I bloody admire him.
Do we have chips or boiled potatoes?
Chips.
Oh, fine. Chips I can cope with. Boil's a wee bit tricky.
Yeah, no problem, chips.
Isn't it just a possibility, Derek, that Stevens might be as clean as he looks? I mean, is that beyond your kind of imagination?
Oh, come on, Linda. What do you think? Where does the S Mercedes come from? The fish and chip business? Trying tonight?
Talk to you about these things, Derek. You know, we're going to be stuck here for weeks. It would be nice if we could talk to each other.
You're cutting the chips too thick. Well, you know, take hours to fry them.
I don't think that haircut does you justice, Willis. Do you know that?
You reckon?
Doesn't quite go with your cordon bleu thing.
Good evening.
You go and get some sleep. It's all right, I'll wait till the lights go out. I don't need all that much sleep anyway.
Oh, God, why are you so nice to me? You've never been so nice to me since I first came up here.
Make some coffee, will you?
Keep me awake.
Tea?
Same thing. I'll have some hot milk.
What's your bed like?
It's all right.
Mine's a bit springy.
Take mine, then. Swap you.
Christ. You think he caught us watching him?
Could have just been looking out the window.
Yeah. Look at that suit. Must have knocked him back 300 quid at least. You going on about what a great guy is. Well, that's all right for the law game, isn't it? Innocent till proved guilty. But for us, it's got to be guilty till proved innocent, isn't it?
Nobody's innocent, though, are they, Derek? That's what you believe.
I'm pretty innocent, aren't I? I mean, what, they're paying me for this?
Damn. I've put sugar in your coffee.
You drink it.
I'm having milk. That really gets on my nerves, you know. People taking different things. I take sugar. You take saccharin.
Yeah, well, I fancy living to not a bad age, you know. I mean, if he was for the workers, he'd be living with them, wouldn't he? Know what I mean? Run around in some cheap car, wouldn't he? Doing things for him.
You don't know what Stevens has done for this place, and is still doing.
His missus works with mental kids. You know that. Well, it's a kind of useful job. The daughter's a bit of a bolshy too, at the university. Always first to jump into sittings.
I'll drink your saccharin hypochondriac coffee.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd be the same in his shoes. People wave 10,000 quid wads in front of your nose. Architects and builders queuing up to be nice to you.
Together at last in our very first home.
Yeah. It's nice, isn't it?
scheme works, other councils may well follow suit. We've got some of the main contestants lined up in the studio, and also in the programme we have a report on the wind scale debate in the House of Commons. We have a look at a small campaign with big ideas for devolution in the north, and why when you come to elect a new Euro MP you probably won't be a Liberal. But first, the education round. Almost 2 years ago, the Tory Tameside Council won a famous victory when 5 law lords stopped the government from forcing the council to scrap its remaining grammar schools. In reply, the government passed a law giving themselves compulsory powers. But now another legal loophole has been found. The Tory-controlled Greater Manchester Council say that they will set up a trust fund of over £1 million out of the rates to send 400 children to independent schools. This would effectively cream off the bright children from the comprehensives. Ironically, the Greater Manchester
Hello, Michael.
Council can do this.
Oh, it's Roy
They
here.
are not an education authority.
I lose track.
They claim they are.
You're still on the police committee, aren't you?
Under the 19th.
So your light was still up.
Yeah.
They're going to bed.
Did you see any Russian agents?
Saw a couple of kids necking. Very passionately.
That's nice.
So I'm going to turn in now. Good book?
It's all right.
I must get a book. Don't read all that much these days. Better, right?
It's fine. You pyjamas?
Yeah, well, kind of.
Did you get them specially for the job?
When you're on your own, sleep in anything. Yeah, well, they're not bad, are they?
They're all right.
You don't want a drink or anything before I turn in?
No, I'm fine, thanks. Sometimes I don't sleep all that well.
Yeah, well, it's a kind of tense job at times, isn't it? Have a good sleep then.
Same to you.
That Bowman will be wondering what we're up to, eh?
Yes, I bet he will.
Leave you to your book. You don't want to knock or anything in the morning?
Got my alarm clock.
So you have. Right, I'm off.
Good night, Big Derek.
Good night. Love.
Well, I don't suppose you'll find anything on the car, but it's a Cortina estate. UDV 81S.
Aren't so pessimistic because they
S,
say
yeah.
they'll fight the proposals in the courtroom.
Well, it's probably me just being paranoid.
In the studio, our
But if anybody is up to
John
anything,
McCallum,
I'd just like to
whose
know.
brainchild all this was.
Good morning, you're bright and early.
Good morning. Got the earlier bus this morning.
Is it not busy today?
Not really, no.
You still making yourself beautiful up there, Big Derek? Hello. Yes, everything's fine. It's a lovely house. I think we're going to be very happy here.
Good. Take it easy. If you don't make contact straight away, don't worry about it. The main thing is to make it look as natural as you can.
Would be a help if we knew what we were looking for.
Derek, not up yet?
In the bathroom.
Everything. Soak up everything. About his fish and chip business, and his other sideline.
Council business.
And the council. Look at everything. Somewhere there's a chance. And tell that lazy bastard to get up earlier. He's missing the best part of the day.
Actually, he's... God, you take your time up there, don't you?
Just shaving. Hey, listen, how are we going to get in with the Stevenses? Go across for an egg, cup of sugar?
Well, we've got houses to borrow from on either side.
Yeah, I thought of that. Oh, I like the bacon done a bit more.
Do it then.
Fair enough. I thought you wanted to make the breakfast. Hey, how about you giving her the spiel you're interested in this educationally subnormal thing?
I happen to be interested in this educationally subnormal thing.
Oh, well, that's great then, isn't it?
That's fantastic, isn't it? All the little pieces are all fitting together, aren't they? Everything's fitting together. Derek, what are you doing this for? I mean, Roy Stevens might have ripped off bribes off the council. How much? 80,000, 90,000 quid. Well, does that really burn you up? I mean, did you lie in your bed last night getting into a sweat about it? I mean the injustice. Like you have to right this wrong.
Yeah, that's it. That's me. Sweating all night.
You just fell into this job. You told me yourself. You couldn't get another decent job, so you went in the police.
Best move I made in my life.
That's good. I'm glad for you.
Next year, Detective Sergeant, right? 5 or 6 years' time, Inspector.
Right up to Chief Superintendent.
That's it.
Well, you'll have to join the Open University then, like your friend George Bullman.
Right. So you know he's up to his neck in it. Councillor Roy Stevens, right?
Look, I can't talk in the morning, okay? I don't start functioning till 11 or 12 o'clock.
Look, talk to me! I'm sick of this superior act, right? You got more education than me and you read books. Now you tell me what's in them that puts you on Stevens' side.
I don't respond to bullying and shouting, so don't try that.
I'm bloody talking here! I'm not trying anything, but I can speak the language, right? If we're stuck here for God knows how long working together.
I'm sorry, Derek.
Don't think I can't see what's happening. I'm not all that thick. Your bacon's pretty rough too.
Yes, well, I'm not domesticated.
That's why your old man turned you out.
And don't think you can get at me like that. Look, do you know what I really feel about him? He's a fantastic man. Now, I don't know what's great and what isn't. But if he did rip off even 100,000...
I doubt if it was much more than 60.
Well, look how much everybody else gained from those deals. Legal profit. Architects, builders, contractors, suppliers. That was legal with them because it was profits. But with him, well, look at all the great things he's done for this place. The way he's pushed people to build houses, estates. He's brought new factories to this area. Whatever he's done is worth whatever he might have ripped off.
What you're saying is, if it was up to you and we dig up anything against him, I mean, the rate we're going, and Stevens being such a sharp bastard, I can't see us doing it, but if we did, you'd be holding it back.
Oh, I don't know. Could be.
Bloody funny policeman, aren't you?
I'm a policewoman.
Yeah, that's right. That's different, isn't it? Christ! Stevens! She's coming in, Linda.
All right, don't panic.
He's watching too. What's she coming in for?
Maybe she wants to borrow a cup of sugar.
I could live for 10 years on that bastard's car.
I saw you take in your milk. Audrey Stevens.
Hello, Linda Graham. Come on in.
Oh, thanks. I can't stop. We just wondered if you were settling in all right.
We're fine.
There's nothing you need or anything, because I know how disorganized I was when we first moved in.
Look, would you like to come in for a cup of coffee?
No, really, I can't stop, because I'm just on my way to work. We wondered if you'd like to come over and have a drink this evening. You see, I'm out all day, otherwise I'd have invited you for coffee.
Oh, that'd be great. Thanks very much. I'd like to. Well, we both would.
About 9, all right, because my husband's got a council meeting. Well, if you want, come over earlier.
9 o'clock's fine.
See you then.
Right. Thanks very much for asking us.
Oh, it's number 33.
Oh, right.
Just over there.
Bye-bye.
So how much did you find, mate?
40-odd quid. It's an old trick. They throw every other 50-pence piece into the fat and then collect every time they clean out the fryer. It's clever, isn't it?
You never thought of prosecuting?
But it's no point. They all do it. I have a manager. He's lifting a salary of $6,000 a year with a car and a bonus, and he has to fill it too. There'd be enough for everybody if they'd stop dipping their hands in the till. They'll end up finishing the business for everybody.
No, thanks.
Well, still might be worthwhile bringing in the police.
The only thing he could do is to spend more time in the shops, but He's got his other businesses, and he's got so involved with council work.
I'm probably being ripped off 5,000 or 6,000 a year, but I'm still eating. I couldn't go back to my other businesses full time now. I've got too much real work to do, haven't I? Organising this city.
Great, that. Having enough money. No need to work. Yeah, I fancy that.
Derek can't understand that, you see, Roy. Now, if he had enough money...
No. You got this thing about helping other people. I admire that, Roy.
Oh, if they got the chance, don't you think everybody would like to work together, help each other?
I've got this deck chair. Right on the beach in the Bahamas, somewhere. In the sun, relaxing. Oh, that's what I'd do if I had Roy's money. Get miles away from the cold and rain and all the hassles and muck-ups in this screwed-up country. First plane out of here.
Without me?
If it came to it, I don't think you would. Do you, Linda?
Oh, yes, I think he would, uh-huh.
I'm telling you, aren't I?
Give up your photography?
What would happen? Because if there's one law you can count on, it's money going to money. I'd make a fortune. Photographing birds in micro bikinis on the beaches. You know, Roy, them golden brown luxury birds.
That's it. That's the way everybody thinks nowadays. The whole country's fragmented. Well, I don't blame them. Everybody's on their own. Out to squeeze the last drop of pleasure they can out of every second of their lives.
But not you, Roy.
Not a real cynic here, haven't we?
I don't know. Maybe just facing up to the facts of life.
What about Audrey's job? Is that a waste of time, too?
Oh, it may well be. It probably is.
You said so yourself, didn't you, Audrey? Well, some softy with a big heart pushes for a law for mental kids. Well, they've all got to go to school. So she's lumbered 8 hours a day with a dozen idiots and God knows what else.
What would you do with them, Derek? Shoot them?
I don't know. Maybe.
You're going to take me to the children's home at Southgate, aren't you, Audrey?
Whenever you want. Anytime.
You know, we have a child at Southgate. He's 15 now. We kept him for the first 4 years. It was bloody murder. He's screaming all night and banging his head against the wall.
Does he go to the school too?
Oh, Audrey doesn't look after him. He's in a much older group. You'll see him. We bring him back every weekend.
Look, I'm sorry I said it. Well, I was just saying what I think.
Can I give you a hand with the washing up, Audrey?
If you want. Have you had enough?
Yes, thank
Yeah, great, Audrey.
It's the state of the country we're living in now, isn't it? Everybody thinks like you do. I don't blame them, and I don't blame you. But I'm going to fight with everything I've got to try and do something to change it.
You can't really go on like that, Derek. Everybody just living for themselves. There's no future in it for anybody. Oh, please don't bother. Honestly, I'm
you
just
don't
going to
mind,
stick
Audrey,
a
you know,
whole lot in the dish.
I don't mind at all.
That's it. Got to keep fighting. Once you give up fighting...
Oh, you haven't given it up then? Sounded to me as though you had.
Well, I'm still fighting, Roy, yes.
Who are you fighting, Derek? Me?
Dunno, do we? Early days. Might end up being mates. Yeah.
Zip's caught.
He's a saint. She's a saint. That's it.
Your turn not to talk to me now.
Bloody talk till night. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Not my thing, talking.
I liked her very much. Didn't you?
I fancied her. I've always fancied that kind of classy, middle-aged bird. They get better as they get older. That's it.
Cheers.
I'll give you a shout when the cocoa's ready.
Derek, you know, I think you should come to the school with us.
Get a clue there, you reckon? Stashed away in a nut house? Good place.
Derek, what's the matter with you? Are you upset?
If I am, I don't bloody know why. I'll tell you that.
happening in my football game, will you?
Right. Gives you a rash. It's a nice smell.
It's just cologne. You can borrow it if you like.
Yeah, I'll borrow it. Next time we have to see Singer. Not a good idea, is it? Getting involved with villains you're chasing.
Derek, you're really upset. What is it?
I was just thinking of something, that's all. That kid I once had, you know, with that bird, she got married to somebody else. Nothing's upset me. I'm not upset.
You look upset.
Right. If you want me to be upset, I'm upset. I'm crying, right? I was just thinking. Might have been... The kid could have been like the Stevens kid. Couldn't it?
Could have been.
If it was like that, then it's better somebody else is looking after it.
Probably.
Isn't it?
I don't know.
Every time you see a couple married, you know, like those two, you can see, can't you? You're on the right track, keeping out of that marriage game.
Are you?
Too true you are. Well, you should know all about that, shouldn't you? You got out of it quick enough. 2 years and you threw him out.
19 months.
It's right enough, though, isn't it? I mean, it's right for some people. But it's not the only way to live.
I thought you were sick of talking.
Off duty, you wear some nice gear, don't you? You look really great tonight.
Somebody had to. Derek, did you put your pajamas in expenses?
Christ, I could have, couldn't I? See, you're sharp, aren't you? Grab every trick going.
Where did this come from?
Stevens' house. Lying around. Probably nothing. Insurance brochure. Never heard of the company, have you?
Southern Insurance. It was on the files, do you not remember? I looked into it, there was nothing there.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you've got to keep trying, haven't you?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, you truly want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Nod your head. If you're happy and you know it, nod your head.
Audrey Stevens works as a teacher in Southgate School for the educationally subnormal. As she invited me to the school, I agreed as part of the investigation. In the course of the day, we discussed her husband and his work on the council. I believe she knows nothing about his illegal activities. I agreed to spending 2 afternoons a week as a voluntary helper at the school in order to allow me to establish a close relationship with Mrs. Stevens.
Well, it's very good of you, Derek, to go to all this trouble. You know, not many people seem to be able to get my face.
No?
This is what I usually use. Don't have to wait for results.
What do you want to photograph of me for?
Oh, photographing you, photographing me. It's a very nice camera you have.
It's my livelihood, isn't it?
Yes, of course, of course.
How about if you at a meeting or something with your staff?
What, press conference after lunch, something like that? Oh dear, it's not very good. Still, for an amateur.
Can I take it for the wife? She'd like it.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to keep it as a souvenir. It's the first time I've ever photographed a photographer.
Press conference, yes. That sounds all right. I'll take a few of you there.
Not a bad likeness, is it, Derek?
I just felt like telling you, that's all. I just couldn't see any percentage in working with you and Bullman. It's nothing to do with being good or bad characters, or you or me. It's just different people, that's all.
Yeah, we are.
Don't know how you can eat that mess.
It's great. Great breakfast banana toast.
Didn't think I'd ever tell you.
You've told me. Can't get through to us. Got it now. All right? Some people can't get through to other people.
God, sometimes I can't stand you.
Bullman really likes you now. Taken to you.
I know.
Like he thinks you make the team. You bring things into it we haven't got.
I'm telling you, I know.
I mean, I think sometimes you're a right bitch. But I don't mind you. I mean, I thought we were beginning to really work together.
I think we are, Derek. Don't take it like that.
I'm not taking it like anything, am I? Just thought we were getting somewhere, that's all. You and me.
We might be.
Look, what's the matter with me, apart from me not reading books? I use a lot of deodorant and I brush my teeth twice a day.
You're a sight first thing in the morning.
I don't know where the committee got it. They got it. They should be brought back now. Getting nowhere anyway.
Well, the damage is done now, sir. Can't we give them another 24 hours?
Chairman's been out to the chief constable. Stevens has lodged a complaint of unjustifiable surveillance. We'll end up back on the beat if we're lucky enough to stay in the force. I'll get them back.
Yes, sir. I'll have to trace them. They're not at home. Might take a bit of time, sir. They're not exactly in radio contact.
Fast as you can, then.
A number of people I spoke to on the docks agreed that the skipper of Stevens's trawler, which went down off Fleetwood in 1975, was known to be greedy and had on other occasions come into port with his boat overloaded. But for what it's worth, I was told that one of the crew was seen taking off a colour television set, which was bought only 2 weeks before the accident, on the day the trawler sailed for the last time.
Smashing pictures. That one's really nice.
I rescued it from the dustbin. Roy had thrown it out. The pictures are really good.
Oh, it's a calendar. Gosh, they bring out some lovely ones, don't they?
Yes, it came to us by mistake, so Roy said. God, that was a rough afternoon, wasn't it? Brian's not usually like that. Something must have upset him. Throwing a chair at you. You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. It was just a bit of a shock, him turning on me.
Well, you handled him very well, because he's stronger than me.
Well, I did nurse him for a bit.
Oh, that's right.
I'm telling you, he's not on the Building Society roll. There's no record of an account in that name. Now get them back, for Christ's sake.
Look, sir, I've got a feeling about this. So has Doran. Let's take a look at the books. If he's got an account in another name, you know how it can be done. If it's not Stevens, well, it don't make matters any worse.
David, I've told you before about this obsession. Have you any idea what's involved going through a Building Society's books?
But if there is something there, sir.
We don't look into it? David, you're getting as bad as me, man. Right. Up to Tyneside yourself. Make sure they know what they're looking for.
Back to normal tomorrow.
That's it. I knew he knew who we were from the beginning. Sharp man. Told you.
No more lead cocos together.
Have to go on another stakeout sometime. Clever, that. Getting onto the building society.
Yeah. Well, you know how you get a feeling sometimes. Singer had it too. I'll miss you.
You're joking, aren't you?
No, I will. In a way.
They won't believe us. Never believe us. Borman and the other lads. We went up to separate rooms, night time.
Yeah, well, that's their problem, isn't it?
Just saying.
I really feel friends with you.
Yeah. I'm your friend.
Never had any friends before, have you? Women friends?
No. See, my mother never told us what it's for.
You know what I'm talking about.
Why do you always say, I know what you're thinking? Why do you keep saying that?
Because you did when I said that.
I still wouldn't mind if you gave me any encouragement.
I know that.
Yeah. It's a change, isn't it? Different.
See, you can talk to them too, can't you? Women.
Bloody hell. Chief Constable arresting us for harassment.
Yes, he is. Did Audrey tell you we're off in the morning?
Well, you haven't a tape recorder, have you?
What?
Well, they'll find out all they want from the books anyway. You've done your job, that's what you paid for.
The wife's mother's taken ill in Newcastle. Got a stroke.
There's no need to keep up the act. Sit down, Derek, or whatever your name is.
It's Derek.
The Gateshead District Building Society's been on to me.
Linda, do you know what he's on about? What are you on about, Roy? Building societies? Books?
I just want to talk to you. I don't know how you got onto the Building Society, but you did. And now that you've finished the job you came to do, you're off.
You worked out who we were the first time you saw us, didn't you, Roy?
Linda, what are you doing?
Look, it's off the record. I just want to talk to you before you go off. I don't bloody know why. But we took to you. I took to the pair of you. Even though I had the idea that you were after my skin. I do that with people, you know, I take to them.
Look, we've got to be up early in the morning.
Look, Roy wants to talk to us. I want to talk to him, okay? Look, Roy, I still believe in what you've done. It's just... I'm sorry. It's just we were lumbered with this job.
They offered me the money. I didn't ask for it. I mean, everybody was doing it. It wasn't greed. You understand that?
What was it then, Roy? You needed the money?
It was for other people. It was time. It gave me a chance of buying time. That money was time. I had all these plans for making this a place that people could begin to live in, but I hadn't got the time. I had the shops. And I couldn't afford to employ a manager in every one of them. So getting into the trawler business gave me time. It was just buying time.
You can tell them that when they take you in. You know, Roy, you didn't need the money to buy Mercedes cars and holidays in the Bahamas. Not about that.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's not like that.
Well, tell us, Roy, how's it like? Because I don't get it.
No, well, you wouldn't, would you? If you got your hands on that kind of money, you'd be sliding off to the Bahamas for the rest of your life. I'm not feeling guilty or ashamed. I'm just screwed up at getting blocked in the middle of organising the whole damn region. I haven't begun yet, and I'm going to be stopped by what is basically a technical infringement. And that is all it is.
We don't know how much it is, do we, Roy? How much is it?
That is all it is. Everybody was doing it in those days. Then somebody got worried and started working out a new moral code for local government. It is a technical infringement.
Audrey doesn't know, does she?
Audrey and my daughter, well, they don't know the details of everything I'm working on. They know the broad picture, of course, because I talked to them about it, but, well, I wanted to explain to you. Well, to Linda, anyway.
Want a whiskey?
Why not?
Roy, it's not our job working out good and bad. You know, right and wrong. That's done for us, you understand? That's the law books. If you've got 440 tyres on your car, you're in trouble. I mean, that's worked out for us. That's all we've got to do, isn't it? Like matching it up. This bloke's got 40 tyres, that matches up with a bit in the book. Take him in.
Oh, I don't know. I see how you could get into this out of wanting to help people, Roy. How are you going to break it to Audrey?
Well, I'll break it to her. Well, she'll be upset, of course. But, well, she'll understand what I was doing. My daughter won't. She's at that age, you know. 17. Judging people. And her friends.
Look, Roy, I'm sorry. You know I am.
God, sometimes I bloody hate this job.
What do you think, then? I mean, it just kind of hit me, listening to Roy bumming about all the great things he'd done. He planned this and backed it. I mean, what do you think? You read the books, and you've got the brain.
I don't know.
I mean, if he hadn't ripped off 80-odd thousand quid or done anything else. Tell you something, what I think. He deserves putting behind bars for this. For not getting rid of it. Look at him. Think about living here. Talking about blowing it all up and starting it again.
People make mistakes. That's people.
But you don't give them 20,000 a year and a bloody Mercedes, do you?
Oh, Christ. I really don't know now.